Good Monday afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandajis. Today is October 19th, 2020. We continue to track the historic 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Right now, we're tracking Tropical Storm Epsilon, the 26th named storm of the 2020 season. So what's the latest? Well, we've got 41 days left in the Atlantic season. Comes to an end, as you know, on November 30th. That's the end of that 6-month season. Epsilon has formed the 26th named storm of the season so far. The previous and only other time there was a 26th named storm was back in 2005, and that was Delta, developed on November 22nd, so we beat that out by over a month. In fact, let's talk about 2005 and let's compare the two. 2020, as you know, 26 named storms up through the 19th of October. In 2005, we only had 21. The difference comes in hurricanes and major hurricanes. We've had 9 hurricanes so far, 3 of them major. In 2005, up to this point, we had 13 hurricanes. 6 of them went on to become major hurricanes as Category 3 or stronger. Here's a look at the basin right now. Not nearly as active as it was, say a month and a half ago, obviously, as we were closer to the peak of the season then. But we have one area we're watching. This only has a 10% chance of development in the southern Caribbean. And then Epsilon, which is actually forecast to become the 10th hurricane of the season so far. We're well into the auxiliary list. That's the Greek alphabet here at Epsilon. 2005 came to an end with Zeta, which actually developed on December 30th and lasted into the next year, into January. We'll see if we blow past that. My gut feeling is we will. Here's the latest look at Tropical Storm Epsilon right now. We're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. It's way out in the central Atlantic right now, not near any land at the moment. And what we look at the satellite filter for is the cloud top temperatures. Why that's important: the colder the cloud tops, the stronger the thunderstorm activity, the more intense the tropical cyclone. Something that's interesting here as we look at an 18-hour loop of the storm. It was pretty lopsided yesterday afternoon, but notice as we get closer and closer to the present time, we start to see the convection begin to wrap around the center. It's been influenced by wind shear, and that's been coming out of the southwest. That's been displacing all the convection, all the thunderstorm activity to the northeast side of that center. But now we're starting to see that wrap around, and that is an indication that we are going to see this begin to start to strengthen and get a little more organized too. As we switch things up and look at the visible satellite imagery, which will pop up there it is. Over the last several hours, you can see that that low-level center has been exposed, but in the last couple frames before we're starting to lose that daylight and the sun going down over the storm, it's starting to wrap around more and kind of shielding itself from some of that dry air that's actually been entrained into the system, thanks to that moderate wind shear coming in out of the southwest, exposing that center. We switch up the filter again and show you the water vapor imagery here. Dry air, moist air. Dry air is the yellows, the golds, and the bronze color there. You can see some of that dry air is getting pulled down to the southeast and then pulled into the storm circulation there. But as that convection starts to circle around that center, it'll kind of wall itself out off from that and protect it from ingesting into that dry air. All right, and as we go forward too, we have a lot of warm sea surface temperatures to deal with. You need like 79 or 80 to really produce that energy available for these storms to use. And we certainly have that. Even as it gains latitude, we still got very warm temperatures here in the northern parts of the Atlantic. So the diagnosis on the storm so far, Epsilon, right now, as you saw, dealing with moderate southwest wind shear. We've got the warm sea surface temperature, so plenty of fuels available. But it's right now in an environment that's not steering it very well. It's kind of sitting along, and that'll be the case for the next 12 to 18 hours or so. And what that does is it begins to upwell the ocean waters, kind of mixes things up. So if it was to, say, stay very weak in a weak steering environment for a long while, it would eventually deplete all the energy in the ocean. But that's not likely going to happen, or at least in that part of the ocean. It's going to begin to move a little bit quicker off to the north and west and be able to use some of those very warm sea surface temperatures. The prognosis going forward here, decreasing wind shear means it's not going to be kind of dealt that blow out of the southwest, the warm sea surface temperatures, and that will lead to strengthening up to a Category 1 at least as it gets closer to Bermuda, which this season has had a lot of impacts from several tropical storms and hurricanes. Here's the forecast path going forward. This is the 11 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center. By the time we get to this weekend, it is passing, at least right now, it looks like, just to the east of Bermuda as a high-end Category 1 storm with max winds Right now, expected to be at least 90 miles per hour. How do the models see things here? Well, this is the GFS ensemble. We're looking at the GFS model run 21 times with different members. Each of them tweaked a little bit to get a different outcome. And you can see the majority of it. Bermuda's right in here. I'd say the majority certainly of the members are off towards the east, northeast, but that can certainly track back to the west. We'll have to watch that closely there. That's the latest for you on Epsilon. My name is meteorologist Tim Pandajis. If you want to find me on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Twitter, if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. We'll see you again tomorrow afternoon.